We pay close to $800 per month for our premium alone. Going to the doctor can be highly stressful on its own, but then you add in the bills, insurance, coverage, and how much you might owe afterwards, and that can make it extremely overwhelming, especially if you're not sure how much you will owe until after you've received treatment. Today, I'm discussing what it's really like to go to the doctor here in the US and in France, how much it costs, insurance coverage, and what happens if you're not insured here in the US and in France. And if you enjoy honest comparisons like this, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe because I make a lot of content about everyday life in France and the US. Let's get into it. In the US, healthcare coverage is normally insurance-based or privately managed. While most people get their insurance through an employer plan, you can also get insurance through public programs like Medicaid or Medicare, or get their insurance through private companies. If you're insured, you would typically pay your premium, your copay or co-insurance, and have a deductible that you would have to meet before insurance fully kicks in. Copays and co-insurance generally cover some of the costs of tests, visits, and prescriptions. For context, a household with just 2 adults can still be very expensive with an employer-sponsored health insurance plan. We pay close to $800 per month for our premium alone. That does not include our copay, our co-insurance, our deductible, or our medications. We pay that amount every month whether we receive care or not. That is just the price to get health insurance. So on top of that, every time we go to the doctor, we have to pay a copay, and for a regular doctor's appointment, we pay $20. After the deductible is met, you're usually left with a much smaller portion of the bill. However, if I'm confusing you, then you're not alone, because I think a lot of Americans feel that way. This system is so confusing and stressful that it prevents a lot of people from seeking care in the first place. For more complex treatments or situations, the cost of care can be not very clear up front. Additionally, bills can arrive in the mail weeks later, and oftentimes, because of this delay or because of not knowing the price up front, many Americans either delay going to the doctor and seeking treatment, or they just don't go at all. Not because doctors are not available, but because of the uncertainty of how much they might pay. The US does in fact have public programs, but these have strict eligibility criteria. For example, Medicaid supports low-income individuals and families, and Medicare provides insurance to individuals over 65 years of age. Not everyone qualifies, and coverage can still vary greatly. It is, however, important to acknowledge what the US does well with the healthcare. We have a broad choice of doctors and specialists, access to advanced technology, shorter wait times, especially for private care, and for people with strong insurance coverage, the quality of care can be quite excellent. Additionally, you can get easier access to specialized treatments or second opinions. But the financial unpredictability remains a major source of stress for many Americans, both insured and uninsured. Now, France operates under a universal healthcare system funded through taxes and social contribution. Most residents are automatically enrolled in the national system, and medical fees are regulated closely by the government. A typical doctor visit in France looks like this. You pay a fixed fee up front, and normally that price is known beforehand, and then the government reimburses a large portion of that cost after the visit. Many people also carry supplemental insurance called a mutuelle, which covers a large portion of the extra cost after the visit. Financial anxiety around seeking treatment or care in France is significantly reduced because prices are standardized and most people know how much the treatment will cost beforehand, or they know that their supplemental insurance will cover a large portion of the fee after the visit. That said, no system is perfect, and France's system absolutely is not perfect. There are issues with staff shortages, access to care, wait times. Additionally, because it is a public system, there is less flexibility with choosing your doctor or specialist. People often have to pay extra for supplemental insurance or pay additional fees if they want faster access, private clinics, or more flexibility or choice in choosing providers. So while care is affordable, Access and convenience can vary. Going to the doctor for a routine visit in France is typically about 23 euros or 27 US dollars. Most of the prices are standardized and are set at certain limits. There's also a lot more transparency about pricing for certain treatments. So most French people are not deterred from going to the doctor because of price. Most people are not left with medical debt like they can be here in the US. Millions of Americans go into medical debt every single year, and many Americans wait until the very last minute before going to the doctor or seeking treatment, especially emergency services, unless it's life or death. And oftentimes, when they do get emergency services, this can leave people in crippling debt for life. The craziest thing about the US healthcare system, in my opinion, is that people with insurance are still going into medical debt. Isn't that crazy? Please let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Now, I want to discuss what happens if you're not insured here in the US and in France. I will just be upfront that it's a lot less scary to need emergency services if you're an American traveling abroad in France than it is if you are a French person traveling here and you need medical attention or emergency services in the US. And the reason being is that here in the US, hospitals or clinics can charge you the full price if you are uninsured. Prices vary significantly depending on the specific treatment. If you need surgery, if you're staying in the hospital long term, it really just depends on where you are and what type of treatment you need. But on average, the cost of emergency services here in the US can start around $1,000 and increase from there. So just to be on the safe side, you may want to have travel insurance when you visit the US. On the flip side, there's a lot less stress and anxiety about going to the doctor in France as an uninsured person because the prices are at a fixed set limit and they remain relatively low. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts about going to the doctor here in the US and France. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Bye!